Initialize sequence.
Yo, this Blaze, you down, homie.
This is Jamie Match Rock.
This be the one them called Tech 9. Yo, what up? This is Shag's 2 Dope from Insane Clown Posse. This is the genius, Chris Calico.
What up? It's G-Mo Ski. This is Ritz, White Jesus.
It's the Kid Mercury. This is Slain. Dragon Eyes.
Necro, Project Born, Mad Child,
Your boy Jerry
Fitted. Welcome to the Underground, Australia's home of rap, metal, and alternative music.
Ill Fortune Underground hip hop sensation joins me, Ned, on the Underground. Ill, how are you, my man?
Doing fucking fantastic, Ned. I'm glad to be back on the Underground Australia.
Oh man, it's great to see you in person too, kind of, despite the all the way over on the other side of the world type thing, man. First up, tell us about it. You played at your first ever gathering of the Juggalos. You were fresh off that, man. Let us know how it went down.
Man, it was the best week of my life, hands down.
Damn.
Man, so since I was 12, I've been wanting to go to the gathering of the Juggalos, and the fact that I got to go to my first gathering this year, and not only that, but got to perform at it, and I got a free ticket to go do so, was badass, man. Like, I can't even describe it. The performance was one of my best performances ever. The Juggalos were all seeming to love it. They were rocking with me. You know, they were singing some of the lyrics back and shit. I got to meet a lot of, friends and fans and people that I had connected with online and been talking to for years. They were there. We got to catch up, man. Oh man, it was like a family reunion. It was like just instant friendships were formed, lifelong friendships, and there's still people I met there that I'm still talking to, and I've been talking to them every day since meeting them. It was crazy.
That is awesome right there, man. I was lucky enough to know you because I sort of felt like I was at it because you were sending me snaps and whatnot, which was kind of cool, and like the atmosphere and everything looked insane. And you said it was your first ever, like one of your best performances, first gathering. Is it like, I've seen a little bit of footage which looked cool, but it was only like a 30-second clip on your Facebook. Is there anywhere we can find more of that, man?
So a couple of the homies had a bunch of phone videos, and to my knowledge, they're going to be posting those on YouTube soon. I gave them the permission to do that, so they're all in the clear for that. I hadn't been posting too many videos and pictures yet, basically because I didn't have too many high quality ones to be posting. I just had phone videos, and I was waiting. I know somebody got some pretty decent shots and clips. We're just waiting to see if we can get those. Hopefully I can. If I can't, then I'm just going to start posting a couple more phone clips that I do have. So.
Oh, that is awesome, man. Well, tell us, what was the craziest thing that went down there? You were sort of alluding to a little bit before we got onto this, man. You said some crazy stuff happened. What did you see? What went down?
Oh, man. There's a couple really crazy things. The only kind of things that are going to go down at the gathering. I mean, I seen 3 different people get their dick sucked, and 2 of those were different occasions. So so basically at the gathering, if you've been, you probably know everybody, there's like anybody can set up a booth. It seems like anybody can sell whatever the hell they want, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody bats an eye. These one girls had a booth set up where they were holding a contest, and they had like an ass eating contest, a titty licking contest, and a dick sucking contest. And me and my fiance were there, and we're like, there's no way they're gonna do this. It was posted at 6 o'clock. So we're like, we're going to stroll by at 6 o'clock and see what's going down. So 6 o'clock comes by, we go over there, and there's a little crowd drawn, and we're like standing there, and they're trying to get volunteers for this dick sucking contest. And we're like, there's no way that they're going to get this, And so they're sitting there 5-10 minutes, and finally they got volunteers. And so these 2 people are literally getting sucked off in front of a whole crowd, and everyone's chanting, suck that dick, suck that dick. It went on for like 10 minutes, though. You think it would be fast, but it wasn't. It went on. So that was probably one of the craziest, nastiest things I've seen, not only at the gathering, but probably in my life. But, I wouldn't take it back. It was a fucking awesome experience.
yeah, man. It's hard to unsee that sort of thing there. And there'd be some, wow. Yeah, that's just something else. Like, I went there back in, I think it was 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, and that wasn't going down back then. So it seems like the gathering has really sort of taken off.
Well, so it's my first gathering, like I said, but from all the OG people that were there that had been going there for a decade or so, they were all saying this is one of the best gatherings that they've had in a long time. They said it was the most full, like, of people and stuff that it's been in a long time. So apparently, I'm happy. I'm happy it was my first one that I got to experience it at such a high peak,
Yeah, man, and I guess with COVID and all that stopping them for a year or two there too, a lot of people wanting to get back out, get amongst it, sort of thing. So they'd all be half crazy, ready to go. So you chose a good one for the first one.
Well, what's funny about that is I actually got COVID from the gathering, so I know a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. I wouldn't take it back. I'm going again next year.
Oh, hell yeah, man! You gonna perform again next year?
We'll see what happens. I mean, my goal is to make it to that main stage, but I gotta work my way up. I gotta prove myself, I feel like. But at the same time, if I got back on that Nightmare stage, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be rocking it, and I'd be putting on an even better show than I did just last year. So.
Oh yeah, man. And like, you're right up there with the best in the underground in my thoughts, man. Who else was there that you sort of checked out that's worth checking out? If you had to say, oh man, go check whoever out from the gathering.
There's one kid specifically. Okay, so there was a rap contest that they did. I didn't even know about it. I wasn't even prepared for it. And I got hyped up by some of my buddies, and I joined it last minute. Like, there's 30 seconds left to sign up, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get in it.
Oh, you got amongst it, yeah.
Yeah, I got in there. There was like 30 people or so, and it was like process of elimination. So you had to spit a lot of different verses, like in each round. I made it to the top 10, and then I kind of ran out of content because I wasn't prepared for it. Didn't have the lyrics ready in my head. But I will say the kid that did win it, I think he said his name was NSG. NSG is what he said, and he was ready for it. He brought his shit, and he killed it all the way to the end, like with just lyricism, flow, context, everything was great. So I don't even know if anybody's heard of him. I've never heard of him, but he definitely showed his shit. Aside from that, I'm trying to think of who else there was performing. There was that one band that you had interviewed. What was it? Motown Rage, was that their name?
Yeah, Motown Rage. Yeah, that's right. Because you sent me the video with him playing the guitar with the drill. Or something.
Oh
that's
my
insane,
god, dude!
Man.
Oh, it was the craziest shit, man. That was amazing. I was so happy. I got to meet the guy that was playing it with the drill. I can't remember his name, but I got to talk to him, and he's a really cool guy. So. Yeah, there was a lot of people doing their thing. Honestly, when I try to think about it, I can't even think of all the other artists and bands. There were so many people performing the whole week. So
yeah, it did look like a killer lineup, and we'll have to keep an eye out for this NSG kid right there, man. And Motown Rage, of course. Those guys, they've been around for a minute, man. And I was very envious of you getting to see that live performance because I haven't seen them live myself. I haven't seen you live either, Ill Fortune, something I want to do. Tell us about the follow-up. Are you working on anything now to follow up to the Toxic Avenger?
So yeah, I am actually working on an album right now. It's very close to being done. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say that it is a different vibe. It is a lot more, it's more personable. It's more about me as a person than it is about me putting on a character and doing a whole horrorcore concept, which is what I often do with my albums.
Yeah.
So it's gonna showcase my lyricism and my rapping abilities more so than I feel like any of my other albums have, in terms of just how I flow on the different types of beats and just the way that I put rhymes together with it, and just telling a story about myself and just kind of explaining who I am as a person, because I've never really done that. I make a lot of horrorcore stuff, but I never talk about who I am.
Yeah, sweet, man. So you're working on that one right now. Is there any idea of when this might be out? Are we talking a full-length album, or are you going to go down the line of releasing singles like you were doing there for a little bit?
So it's gonna drop all at the same time, and pretty soon, actually. I don't like unveiling a release date until everything is completely done, the skits are done, and everything is mixed, mastered, finished. But I will say that it'll be out before Halloween, ideally.
Damn, there we go.
But I also want to say that because it is Halloween, and that's usually when I shine the most in terms of music releases, I do have a couple singles planned, specifically one pretty big horrorcore music video planned for October that I think the fans are going to get really excited about. So I actually performed that song at the gathering as a special unveiling and gave them a little exclusive listen to that song.
Went down well?
Yeah, they seem to like it. And it definitely has a different sound than a lot of the horrorcore stuff I do put out. It's a lot more bassy and just in your face, punchy, and it tells a story too. It's a story song, very Creepshow-esque, 80s horror Creepshow, Stephen King, George Romero type song and music video that we got planned.
Man, I'm excited for that. And you said a video as well. That Toxic Offender video was so good, man. So I'm looking forward to see what you do next.
Hell yeah, I got plans, man. I've been learning about special effects nonstop. I have Tom Savini's book that he wrote, both of them actually, and I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about mask making, gore, practical effects. I hate CGI, and I try not to utilize it as much as I can. So I'm just trying to get that knowledge in my head of how I can make this stuff happen on screen, in person, live.
Oh, man. Super hyped for that. So October just around the corner. Man, that is awesome. I've got a note in here to talk to you a little bit. This is majorly changing things up because I was a big fan of this series that you and your brother, I think it was, did in Lifties. Mm-hmm. Are you guys still working on that? Like, what's sort of the status on that?
So I'm glad you asked. I was just talking to my brother about this the other day, and we were talking to our director of photography for it. We have plans to finish the rest of the season with 3 more episodes this year, which will cap off the season with 6 episodes total, because we already have 3 of them out on YouTube that you can watch for free. Once we finish this season, we're actually going to stop the show. We're just going to conclude it and wrap it up nicely and just make sure the stories, no loose ends or anything. The reason we want to do that, one reason being my brother moved to Oregon, so he is out of the picture. And we can only work together when he comes back to Minnesota, or I fly over to Oregon. Yeah. We want to focus on our own individual projects in terms of movies. We're both very oriented in writing scripts and in the film world and everything. He wants to start exploring different projects he wants to do, and I have more horror concepts. I want to start actually working on horror movies, whether I start out doing short films or feature-length films. Regardless, I've been making a lot of connections in the Twin Ports, Duluth area of Minnesota, and there's an emerging film scene there. Actually, it's pretty cool. There's several movies, like I think 3 or so major films being shot there right now, and a lot of different people coming through. So I really want to start exploiting that in terms of just getting into the film scene more.
That is killer right there, man. And like, you're surrounded by the horror movie characters there at the moment. I was going to talk to you about this later, but what better time to talk about it now? You're talking about doing your own horror movie. I think it's a great way to starting off with the little short flicks and whatnot. But you got your Michael there, you got your Jason there, Freddy's in the works. Tell us about that. They're all handcrafted by yourself.
Yeah, so it's a term that someone coined to me. It's called kit bashing, I believe. And it basically is where you take pieces from existing arts and you put them together to create something new, or just create something different. So what I've done is the Michael Myers and the Jason are both statues that I've constructed. Jason is actually missing an arm right now, just because I'm working to make him more articulated and less straight. But yeah, I basically make the bodies out of PVC. I purchase all the outfits and stuff separately. Each one has an under mask that I purchased on Amazon. So it's like a full head mask that goes like below the shoulders and stuff. So Michael has like an actual flesh tone mask. So it looks like a real person. So he has the white mask over the flesh mask. So it's doubled up. And then with Jason, he has the hockey mask over the zombie mask. And then the Jason masks are actually made by my younger brother Drake. Shout out him, he's actually in the other room chilling right now. There's a whole lineup of them going down the wall back there from every single Jason movie in order. So
that is sick.
Yeah, he does a great job at those. And then, like you had said, I'm working on a Freddy Krueger right now. I got the mask sitting back there with the hat on it. I'm waiting for some eyeballs to come through so I can pop those in there, and then I'm gonna touch the mask up and make a PVC body and set him up. I already have the glove and the sweater and all that stuff. So.
That is sick, man. Because just sitting there, they look realistically in video like you've just got the guy sitting there behind you, man. So it's a little bit terrifying right there. I don't want to sort of touch on it too much because obviously this is all in the works, Hunter. But like, do you have an idea for these horror films? Are you talking slasher? Like, what sort of concept are you for your own film, man? Because this guy, people checking this out need to know this guy is multi-talented. Like, you writing horror movies, writing rap, like you've got your Lifties series, you're a beat maker as well. We haven't even got onto that, man. You do everything. But on the horror concept, what's the go there? What can you tell us without giving too much away, I guess?
So I am obsessed with old school horror from the 70s, 80s, and 90s periods. So anything that I do going forward is going to be paying homage to those types of films, specifically slashers, because I love slashers. They died out for a while, and I feel like they're actually making a comeback right now. Strong. They have been since Halloween came out, and like the new Halloween came out in 2018, I think it was. So I would definitely be diving into the slasher genre pretty heavily, but trying to do it fresh and not just rehashing the same old thing, switching perspectives, showing more of the killer's perspective. Just trying to do it differently. I do have a specific screenplay in mind that I've been hashing out for a while. I haven't fully written it yet. I'm actually working on the concept of bringing that into music and making him a music character. I've been dabbling with that a little bit, but he is, I don't want to say too much, but he is a really fresh idea of basically a supernatural slasher similar to Freddy Krueger or Pinhead. I don't want to say too much, but I will say it anyways. He basically kills people through them using substances like drugs, alcohol, anything to get a buzz, and then they weaken their mind, and then he comes to them as a hallucination, basically.
Oh, there you go, man. That's dope.
Yeah, and then so basically when he kills someone in real world, it looks like they just died from an overdose. So it's pretty hard to trace. So that's a concept I've been playing with. So if anybody else takes that, it was here first, and I'm coming to sue you.
Right. What are we, like August 26 or 7 or something, 2022? You can't be stealing that. That sounds like a very, very cool concept right there, Hunter. I'm excited for you to get amongst it. And like, what sort of stages are you in on this? Like, when will we sort of realistically look at seeing it, sort of thing?
Musically, you could see it as soon as this October. As far as actually seeing it on film as a movie, I would give it a couple of years, because that's definitely future ill fortune type stuff right there. As far as the movie stuff goes, that's something I want to definitely pursue more later in life, in like my 30s and 40s type of thing. But I've been laying the groundwork since I was like 5 years old. I've been working with cameras and video editing since I was a child, so it is in my blood and something I'm passionate about.
Oh yeah, man, and you do an excellent job right there. Hunter helps me out a lot. For people checking this out, he's freaking dope as, man. And you also do beats as well, Hunter. Like, you did a one there for Gmo Ski. How can people get onto you? Let us know about that.
So I advertise my beats through YouTube primarily. I sell my beats through my website, illfortunemusic.com/beats. I have the links provided for that on all my social pages, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube. You can find me everywhere at Ill Fortune or Ill Fortune Music. But yeah, I sell my beats through YouTube, or through my website, and advertise through YouTube, which is where I get a lot of my traction through, whether it's organically or just directing people there. You can definitely just search me up on YouTube and find a list of my new beats, most popular ones. I have playlists available for different styles, whether it be old school, death trap, jazz beats, free beats, whatever it is. So, you guys can look into that if you're artists. I'm running deals all the time, whether, buy 4, get 4 free, stuff like that. You can also reach out to me directly and we can work out deals on that. People do that all the time. Some people are afraid to reach out. Sometimes all you got to do is just start a conversation the right way, network a little bit, don't come just like demanding shit, but just try to strike a deal, be friendly, be cool, and be a real person. And we can talk and we can work something out. I'm always open to negotiate.
Definitely, and the quality is A1. Highly recommend it myself, man. Super awesome. So we were discussing Halloween. You were talking about this cool new sort of project that you're coming out. I want to know, other Halloween plans? Do you have any shows or anything like that coming up as well?
I do have a show on October 30th. It's actually not a Halloween show, unfortunately. I wish it was. I'm doing it for a snowboarding event that my dad is putting on, because we're both very into the snowboarding culture around here. We've both been at the local ski hill, Itasca, for a long time, and we just have a name in it. So we put on events a lot for this type of thing. During the winter, we actually hold snowboard contests all throughout Minnesota, and we travel and do that for the kids. But this thing, October 30th, is called Boards and Brews Festival. It's basically a way to transition from fall into winter, and we show new snowboard videos that have come out this year. And we just basically network, and people bring in their vintage snowboards and do a little show. But I'm going to be performing at it and just doing a set from my new album, the one that I was talking about earlier, because by then it's gonna be released. And so yeah, I'll be showing the new crowd of people this new sound that I got. So other than that, I don't have any other shows planned between here and there, mainly because I'm so focused on finishing this album and then also putting everything I have into that video that I was talking about, that horror one. It takes a lot of energy sometimes to do these videos right. It's not always like just going out to a parking lot and setting some lights up and just filming. I like to put a lot of thought into everything I do for videos. I storyboard everything out and make sure everything is, proper. I think of all the props, the actors, put a lot of work into that. And it takes a lot of time.
Oh yeah, man. Well, very much looking forward to all those things coming up. And right before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about horror outside of you. We talked about it earlier. Halloween Ends. You're excited for that one, man?
I'm very excited for that movie. I think everything they're doing with the new Halloween franchise is just spot on. And like I said, I think it's bringing back the horror genre, much like it did, or it's bringing back the slasher genre, and it's doing what it did in the 70s when Halloween originally came out. That seemed to spark all these other slasher characters starting to come up. Freddy, Jason, Michael, Pinhead, all those. Leatherface was first. I will say Leatherface was before Michael, but Michael made it cool. So, and he's doing the same thing right now. He's making it cool to be a slasher again. And now I see all these new movies coming out, reboots, remakes, continuations, and I just hope it continues. So I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah, it's a very cool time for horror, man. And did you see the one that I'm really excited for at the moment? It's spinning me out a little bit. Is this Winnie the Pooh horror movie that they're bringing out? Like, I do not know what to expect from this, man. Like, I don't even know when it's coming out or anything like that. But I thought I got to get Ill Fortune's comments on this one.
I heard that the Winnie the Pooh name went public domain, or the rights to it went public domain. So it's free use for everybody. So that's why these people are like, we're gonna make a movie about this, and it's genius. I think. Well, I heard that it's an indie film, but maybe because it's gotten so much hype, maybe a bigger production company will sign on, and it'll end up being higher budget. Whether it's low budget or high budget, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna enjoy it either way. I love horror movies of all kinds. Doesn't matter to me if it's done well or done poor, as long as there's some context there, some substance to it,
Oh yeah, it's definitely a case of watch this space on that one there. But I think you're with me I'm with you on that one. Definitely cannot wait for it to come out. But Ill Fortune, thank you so much for taking time out, man. It's always a blast to chat with you. Is there anything else you'd like to cover before I let you go?
Not necessarily, but I do want to do one thing. I want to give a horror recommendation, because I think I did that last time we had an interview. Yes. And I just have to do it. If you guys haven't seen, and this is a new movie. Usually I recommend old movies, but this is a new one.
Cool.
The company A24 released X earlier this year. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
If you guys haven't seen X, you need to check it out. It is amazing. It is a throwback movie, so it feels like it takes place in the 70s, but it looks and feels like it's a 70s movie. And it's very original. Familiar concept, but very original, how they pull it off. You guys got to check it out. You too, Ned. If you do, let me know what you think about it, because I loved it. And there's a sequel coming out called Pearl. So
nice, man. Yeah, love a new horror movie. So there you go, X right there. Thank you so much, Ill Fortune, man. Always love chatting with you, man. And thank you for all that you do for us, the underground, Magic Ninja Australia and the works. Ill Fortune, great dude right there. Be sure to hit him up, facebook.com/illfortunemusic218 and Ill Fortune Music on Instagram. They're all sort of Ill Fortune something here, there, and everywhere. We'll pop the links in the comments and all that sort of thing. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, keep it ill.
This has been another presentation from the Grey Wolf Entertainment Network, greywolfentertainment.net.